Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Public Affair. Before we continue, of course, I have to give a huge shout out to Rogue Media Network with Mike and Allison behind the scenes who are shooting this episode and have shot the majority of my episodes of The Public Affair and have just worked with me diligently, and I really appreciate you guys, so thank you guys so much. And of course, to everybody that loves and supports The Public Affair, to the community and everybody around the nation who shares an episode, likes an episode, comments on an episode, whatever. You guys are the best, and I truly appreciate it. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few of our sponsors who brought us this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by David Santabañez with Linear Real Estate. He's the #1 sales agent in his office and has been as long as he's been sponsoring The Public Affair. Help you buy a home or sell your property. Make sure you follow him on Facebook at David with Linear or call the number on the screen, darling, for all your real estate needs. My boy David out there doing it, and there is no stopping him. I'm telling you guys, if you're looking for your first home, work with David Santabañez. It's one of the most pleasurable experiences I've ever had. David, thank you so much for being a longtime sponsor and such a good friend, bro. Of course, to my girl Anika Armstrong with Pee Wee's Crab Cakes of Texas, serving the most authentic, oh my goodness, Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pasta, seafood, and more. I didn't like Cajun until I started going to Pee Wee's Crab Cakes of Texas. Oh, it's delicious, darling. My favorite is the crabby seafood pasta. You guys go to, she has brunch now on Sundays too. I'm just gonna say, go to brunch and then slide in my DMs later. It's the best thing ever. She's located at 108 Jim Drive in Hewitt, and you can also order online at orderpeeweescrabcakes of Texas.com. To my girl Nika Armstrong, thank you so much, Queen, for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to my boy Arturo and my girl Eva de la Cruz with Arturo's Frame. They do wood framing for houses and all remodeling. They also assist you with building a brand new house from the ground up in case you don't want to move into somebody else's old house. Hablan inglés y español. You can call the number on the screen to book for a free in-town consultation as well, and follow on Facebook at Arturo's Frame. Thank you guys so much for being longtime sponsors of The Public Affair. Of course, to my boy Joseph Blancas with JB Auto Detailing. He provides mobile detailing for all of Waco and all of the surrounding areas, promising 100% satisfaction guaranteed, leaving your vehicle looking brand spanking new and absolutely fresh. Well, you got to take your car to the car wash. All you got to do is call Joseph Blancas. He comes to your house, he comes to your job, he washes the car, you move on. That's it. Pricing and such at jbautodetailing.net. Call the number on the screen to book, and also follow him on Facebook at JB Auto Detailing. My boy Joseph, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, I've got to give a huge shout out to my boy Randy Orguin with Waco Decal Plug. He's a vinyl graphic artist and installer. Listen, Randy's creating custom decals, perfect for up and coming business owners and entrepreneurs. You guys, you're starting a business and you don't know what you want the logo to look like. You got to hit up my boy Randy Orguin. He'll take care of you. He also made me some really, really awesome The Public Affair decals that I've been passing out all around town. Habla español también. Make sure you call him for free estimates with the number on the screen, and follow on Facebook and Instagram at Waco Decal Plug. To my boy Randy Orguin, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. You're truly the GOAT, bro. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So I am definitely taking this episode of The Public Affair into a little bit of a different direction, because I feel like my show needs Jesus, right? Because we're so lewd and we're so crude on this show, and I love it, right? But one of the things that I really like about my show and The Public Affair, and I think that you guys appreciate it, is that it is diverse. And so for my next guest, I called him, and I was shocked when he said yes, because I just was, okay? And so without further ado, I would love to welcome one of my very good friends here to just give us some faith and some encouragement, and also tell a really, really good story about himself and life growing up. To my very, very dear friend, welcome to The Public Affair, Mr. Jahaziel Trevino. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm very honored that you invited me to your show.
Oh, I'm honored that you came. You guys act so honored to come on the show, and I'm just happy that you guys say yes.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
You say you were shocked when you invited, when I said yes. Yes, but I was shocked to receive the invitation.
Well, okay, so I want to tell you why I invited you, honestly, because like I do, like, you know, I've interviewed a pastor before, right?
Okay.
And I know that you're very heavily involved in your church. Like, you did a lot of mission work outside of the country and stuff like that. And I knew that I wanted an episode that was going to kind of take this direction. And I could have invited any pastor, right? But I was like, oh, well, you know, like Jahaziel, or we call you Hazel, like on the soccer field. You know, he does a lot of that stuff too, and he's around my age, and he likes to drink too.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like it's not going to be fabricated. You know, you said you're just going to do you, and I was just like, yes, invite him. You know what I mean? Not to say before the pastors start attacking me. Not to say any of them were going to do. You know, shout out to Pastor G. I had him on this show. Yeah. But you know, I feel like you and I are the same age. We might have a lot of similarities, but also there's a lot of like differences in how we live our life. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. I'm not going out of the country to do those things. But good for you. You know what I mean? And that's cool. And so I really wanted to take this episode in like a more inspirational, faith-based direction. But listen, you do. I want to get to know Jahaziel on the show as well. You know, I have to give a shout out to your whole family. I do. I love your whole family. They're so kind. I've been very good friends with your brother for a long time, George. I love him. Met him first before I met you. Okay. Right. I met your parents before, and they were all super nice. Okay. I just wanted to give them a shout out. Yeah. So yes, tell them that you got to be on the show. Okay. Make sure they all watch.
For sure. We'll do.
Yeah. It's like, Jahaziel, first of all, I need to ask you, are you family with any of the Trevinos that have been on my show?
Denise
and Misa.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. This town is too small. So you guys are all cousins?
Yeah, they're my cousins.
Yeah. Were you guys close growing up?
Yeah. Actually, funny story. We actually lived in a duplex. We lived on one side and they lived on the other.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I guess you could say we pretty much grew up.
She neighbors. Did. I think she did talk about that on the show. I didn't. I guess, why did I not put together that was you guys that she was talking about? Yeah. Okay. Cool. No. Okay. That's awesome. Listen. So for anybody who's watching the show and who may not know who you are, can you just introduce yourself to us, a little bit about who you are, please, like growing up and all that, please?
Okay. So my name is Jahaziel Trevino. I grew up in Waco, Texas. Been here. I was born and raised.
Oh, sweet.
My parents, they're from Mexico. It's a small town called Sabinas Hidalgo, Nuevo León. And, I mean, they moved to California. Yeah. My dad moved to California. And then from there, like, he met my mom at his hometown.
Oh, okay.
And then they decided to move to Waco.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've been living here ever since.
Oh, I got you. So they've met at a very young age. Did they ever like tell you?
So I believe my dad met my mom when he was 25.
Oh, okay, I see.
I can't remember how old my mom was, but they got married when she was 19. I think he was 26.
See. Yeah, listen, I don't even know how my parents met. Yeah. I've never asked them because I'm scared it's something like derogatory, you know, because they're wild. They're more wild than me.
Okay.
So like, I'm like, I don't even want to know. Don't even. And if my mom was anything like me now, then forget about it. There's some things you don't want to know about your parents. Anyway, so were you guys always, you know what I always liked about you guys? It seemed like the dynamic between like you and George, and then I've only met your parents. They probably don't even remember me. Okay. I had Thanksgiving at your brother's house one time, and it was a long time ago. And so, and when I say a long time, it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, but no, you know what's okay? Funny story, and this is so inappropriate. So, but I can do that. Okay, right?
Okay, go for it.
We had Thanksgiving at your brother's house. It was Friendsgiving, and that's when I got the notification that OnlyFans model Isabel Garcia was going to come on my show, and I celebrated at your brother's house.
Oh wow!
We all know Isabel. Yeah, she does OnlyFans in town. You know what OnlyFans is, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I was at your brother's house when I got that message, and I was elated. Yeah, I was. We celebrated. I ended up buying more beer. So, but no, yeah. So were you guys always that close? You guys seem like you got like really like a tight knit, which I think is really cool. Were you guys? Was it always that way for you and your family?
Yeah. Actually, like my whole household, like all of my cousins, like ever since we were little, like we would always get together in Mexico, and we have a ranch in Mexico that we would spend our summers in.
Oh, sweet.
So like we're like as a family, all of my uncles, my cousins, we're very tight family.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How did you guys, like, what inspired that? How did you guys end up staying so? Because, like, I have a brother that I have not talked to in 7 years. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, he's in jail. And so, and then my parents, like, you know, my family, it just wasn't like that. Yeah. So I always wonder for you guys, how did you guys stay so tight-knit and not get sick of each other?
So honestly, I think it has a lot to do with my dad and his brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
Because they're 8 brothers and sisters in total.
Yeah.
So they're very close.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my dad's mom passed away when he was 3.
Oh no, okay. Yeah.
So the eldest of his sisters, she essentially took care of the whole house.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
it's gotta be a burden, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it was definitely hard for them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So life growing up for you guys, though, would you say that they had it all together by that point, or were you guys kind of on the struggle bus as well? I mean, are you guys from this part of town, or like?
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
I mean, we've always lived at the house that we're living in right now.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
No, okay. So there wasn't. So by the time, while they might have been struggling growing up, by the time it got to the kids and they had you guys, everything was pretty good.
Oh
for the
yeah,
most
yeah,
part,
for sure.
Did you guys ever fight? You guys ever get
Oh
sick
yeah,
of each other and
for
get
sure.
tired?
Yeah, I mean, what family doesn't really?
Yeah. No, I fight with my family all the time. I'm not talking to them right now.
Yeah. So I mean, when we were younger, we used to
Yes.
get into like wrestling and
Oh, for sure.
fighting each other, but obviously our parents were always against it.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously behind the cameras, behind the doors, we would always get into it.
Yeah, always fighting. Yeah.
But I mean, now that we're older, I mean, we're a lot wiser, and we know that a tooth doesn't grow or heal as easily.
I got you.
So
it's you and George.
Yes.
And then am I missing brothers and sisters? We're not counting Denise and Misa. We're counting like physical brothers and sisters.
okay, so
Yeah.
I have a younger brother named Abdiel.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you might have seen him. He's
I
a
might have met him.
stocky guy.
Okay, I might
Big
have.
guy.
Yes. Does he play soccer with you guys?
Sometimes, yes.
You know what's crazy to me? You play on the 30 and over league, correct?
Yes.
Or you did? Okay. When I saw you guys, and I can't imagine you playing soccer because they don't know how to. None of them know how to act. I sponsor Soko soccer team, and I love them. Marl's one of my very best friends. But they don't be knowing how to act. I went to the finals and I was like, no, this isn't the T. Okay. And I was telling Leslie, shut up, stop yelling. Do you ever find yourself breaking character, things like that?
Sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's because you're in the game, you're playing, and then like it gets intense, and like obviously the rivals, they start hitting you, and I mean things get heated, and then the ref doesn't do the right calls. So yes.
Oh yeah,
most definitely.
We're not getting into that one because then I'll get jumped, Jahaziel. I can't fight. Okay, so we're not gonna do.
No, yeah.
But it's so wild watching that.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I will say for the most part, I try to keep my cool.
Yes, for sure.
Because I mean, a lot of people know that I'm Christian, and I mean, as a Christian, I can't really.
Yeah, but you'll whoop some ass in the name of Jesus, right? And I don't want no disrespect to Jesus because he's lit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I definitely try to keep my cool for the most part. I mean, if you probably see me out on the field, you probably see that I yell at the ref.
Yes.
But I try to keep it, PG-13 for the most part.
Well, and I can't think of your younger brother off the top of my head. So if I forgot him and he knows me, please forgive me. But seeing like you and George, you guys always seem like you're very soft-spoken, level-headed. So I can't ever imagine you guys being that way. Was one child more troublesome than the other growing up?
Yeah.
One of you had to be rebellious.
I honestly, and I mean, if Abu ever listen, and we call Abdiel Abu.
Oh, Abu, okay.
Yeah. So if he does listen to this episode, I will say that I consider myself the more pacifist one.
Okay, like you're grounded.
Yeah, I'm more grounded than both of my brothers.
Yeah.
I would say that probably George is the one doesn't really think with his head. He just more acts in the moment.
I see. Okay.
And my younger brother, he's very mature for his age.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Yeah. George is like me. We just don't care. That's it. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
My poor credit card is screaming at me right now. And I told Mara I had to break that. A little serious. One of my friends actually just passed away. One of my very good friends.
Sorry to hear that.
No, thank you very much. And it was hard. And a lot of people handle those things differently, Jahaziel. Like people drink or whatever. I just went on a shopping spree. I was at work and I was like, just buy everything. I don't care. Get on Amazon, click what you want. That's it. Because life is short. It makes you think how short life is, right?
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, like I said, it seemed like you guys all grew up in a pretty stable household. Everybody seems like they've got a really good head on their shoulders. Everybody's super kind. Were you guys always, part of the reason, again, why I invited you on this episode is because you are heavily involved in your church.
Yes.
And one thing that I like that he said off camera was just introduce me as Jahaziel Trevino because I don't like labels.
Yes.
While you are, do you get bothered when people say, oh, that's the Christian or that's the missionary or that's, whatever, the minister or whatever?
It's not that I get bothered. It's just that nowadays it seems like a lot of people who are in the public, they want to be called pastor, evangelist, prophet. And that's not what the gospel is about,
Okay.
Like we're called to serve.
Yeah.
And if anything, we should all have a title of servants.
Oh, okay.
Because as Christians, I mean, we're called to serve everybody.
Well, I didn't want to call you like servant Jahaziel.
Yeah, no,
but I would get ripped apart on social media. Okay.
no worries.
But yeah, so you don't necessarily like, even if you went to go be a pastor or anything, you don't want to be called Pastor Trevino, Pastor Jahaziel. You just want to be Jahaziel.
I mean, I would understand if people do it out of respect for the calling, but I would prefer to just be presented as Jahaziel Trevino.
Yeah. Sometimes labels for me though, like I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I have to throw a joke in there too. Okay?
Go for it.
All due respect. You know, I went to Joe Hernandez's baby shower.
Okay.
And you know, they have Andrew, the Andrew that was on this show, Andrew and Julia. Do you know Andrew?
I'm not sure. Like,
okay.
I'm very bad with names, but
Okay,
if I see
if you
them in
see his
person, like, yeah.
So he's Andrew,
Okay.
right? And then I'm Andrew.
Okay.
And so it was so cute. I was making all the old ladies mimosas. And yeah, because they loved it. And he was like, can we call you the gay Andrew? And I was like, well, of course you can, because I am. So, you know, so in that instance, I feel like, okay, like if that's what you have to do
Right.
to differentiate us, that is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I like respect that about you. I like that. I don't know, when you said that to me, I was like, okay, like he is just Jahaziel.
Yeah.
I didn't invite Jahaziel the missionary. I invited Jahaziel Trevino on the show.
Right,
Okay, so you know, so church was always part of your life then? Did you guys grow up in that? Do you feel like it was a huge part or?
So yes,
Okay.
like I grew up. I like to say that I grew up under the pew. You know,
Mhm.
like since we were little, my parents always took us to church.
Yeah.
I remember that I would always fall asleep in church. I will admit that.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
always fall asleep in church.
Well, hello, Sunday. Like, we just went out the night before. Like.
So I mean, yes, I definitely grew up in church.
Mhm.
I will say that there was a moment in my life, in my teenage years, where I stopped going to church.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff happened at a church that we were going to, and my parents, they just decided to stop going.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you don't want to share into detail, I completely understand. But was it things that were just like having you question your faith, or?
No, it was more things that like people were moving situations, were
Okay.
causing things to happen that weren't
Yes.
supposed to happen.
Okay.
It wasn't anything that had to do with against our faith.
Yes.
It was just people trying to elevate themselves to a position that they
Okay.
weren't
Oh, like
supposed to be in.
like politics.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that exists in church. Isn't that
Exactly.
annoying? Isn't that so annoying?
Oh yes,
I think
big
that's
time, big
annoying.
time.
Why it has to happen in church? I can understand everything else. You know what I mean? But I always feel like I'm that person that labels church as we all go there for one thing.
Exactly.
And that's to worship God. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
No, I'm not. I can't even tell you last time I went to church. It's been at least a couple years. No, last year. It has to have been last year. You know.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know that I actually I pray every night before I go to bed. I really do.
Oh, that's
'Cause
good.
None of this would have happened without God. I really no, a lot of people don't believe me when I say that because I act out a lot. But whatever.
Yeah.
So you know, you mentioned that you stopped going as a teenager.
Yes.
And part of it was, I guess, the politics that was going on in the other church. Okay. Now
Okay.
you might have had some things going on in your life though as well, though, right? I mean, depression.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
so can we touch on that? I think that's super important.
Yes.
And so what do you think, you know, you're growing up in this, from what I see or what I understand, this household where everybody loves each other, there's no judgments, we all stick together, blah, blah, blah. What was going on in your life, Jahaziel, that caused you to stop going to church and go down maybe this dark path?
Yeah. So honestly, I can't really pinpoint something that may have caused
Yes.
specifically
Okay.
to have depression.
Yes.
But I will say that like, you know, in high school, I was, I guess you could say, quote unquote, popular,
Okay.
because my older brother George,
Mhm.
he was popular.
Yeah.
And so in turn, whenever I got to high school, like all of his friends in turn became my friends.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so we would always hang out like in breakfast
Yes.
or after school, you know, playing soccer. So I mean, exteriorly, I guess you could say like everything looked normal.
For sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like it was at the end of the day when I was by myself before going to bed
Mm-hmm.
that depression just hit me.
Mm.
You know, it was like that thought of, okay, I just went through this today. I went
Yes.
to school, hung out with friends, played soccer, and now tomorrow is gonna be all over again.
Right.
Like, I can't say that there was a situation that caused the depression to come over me.
Right.
Like I didn't lose a loved one.
Right.
I didn't.
You were just battling with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just
Yeah.
that sense of what is the point of life
Right. For sure.
if it's just a constant routine over and over.
Like it was repetitive.
Yeah.
Do you think stopping going to church played a part in all of what you were thinking of?
Maybe. I'm not gonna say yes.
Right.
But it definitely has a key role in that.
No, for sure. You know, I not to touch on it too much because I really want to get more into, you know, what you were feeling like, but I will say just recently I understand what you're talking about. It's almost like you feel like you're alone.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, and like everything in your life is going so great and you have this great family environment and amazing friends and you're Mr. Popular in school and all the girls want to date you, whatever, right? And then none of them can get out of your DMs. But, you know,
I wish that would have happened in high school.
I know, yeah, me too. But you know, you know, TikTok. But but no. But I'll share with you just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I was like breaking down to our friend Morrow.
Okay.
Because I told him, I like, you just triggered it. Like, I was like, nothing is wrong. You know what I mean? I had a good weekend. We got hosting. Everybody loves the show. But there's a point in your life where you just feel like you're by yourself.
Yes.
Would you could you relate?
That's exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everything was perfect. Like, there was nothing in my life that you could say, oh, well, you're going through that because you got in an accident or you broke your hand. Or things are just going from bad to worse. You know, you got bad teachers that are talking down on you, or you got friends who are talking down on you or betraying you or doing this. Everything was good externally. So nothing explained that sensation of going through that depression.
For sure.
And that's why everybody who I get a chance to talk to about my testimony, I always tell them, it's depression is like a spirit. Yes. You can't control it.
Right.
It just comes over you.
It just comes out of nowhere too.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's in the moments that you're most vulnerable that thing comes over you.
Right. Definitely. Did you have a lot of people to talk to about it? You know, one thing that we talk a lot about on this show, and even something that I told him yesterday, is like, I know that I have people there for me. And I know that like, I have good friends like you that I could call if I feel like the rug is going to be pulled from beneath me, right?
Right.
But then I feel like a burden. And then as Latino men, and what we talked about on the show is that we weren't allowed to like express our feelings.
Right.
I don't know if the same thing could be said for you. Did you ever feel like there was an outlet for you to tell somebody, hey, something's not right, I don't feel good, and we need to do something about it?
So if I'm completely honest, I didn't realize what was happening in my life until I went through it. I passed it.
Oh, I see.
So in that moment, I didn't really seek a source of help.
Okay.
Because I didn't really know it was an issue. I thought it was just emotions. Like stuff that I was, any normal teenager would go through.
For sure.
I will say that at one point I did talk to my dad because going through that depression, it caused me to have suicidal thoughts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So there was one point where I did talk to my dad and I told him, man, this is happening. I'm feeling this way.
Okay.
I'm having these thoughts in my head. But the only reason that I didn't commit suicide was because I grew up in church. And I remember our Sunday school teacher, she would tell us that suicide would give you like a one-way ticket to hell. Because it's essentially like you're trying to take the role of God and taking in vain the gift of life that he's giving you. Yeah. So that's that fear of, being condemned is what essentially stopped me from committing suicide. So
when you mentioned that you had suicidal thoughts, was it just like, what would this world be like without me? Or like, was there something that in particular that you triggered? Because you mentioned that earlier, the depression just hit overnight. Yeah. Like you would just be at home trying to sleep or something. And then all of a sudden you can't sleep and you just think your mind is racing. With the suicidal thoughts, was that a separate kind of, not spirit, demon? That was there just something that happened to you that just said, you know what, I'm just done here? So the thoughts that would come into my head were, your family, nothing's going to change if you're not here. Okay. Your family's still going to be the same. Everything's still going to be in order if you're not here. They don't need you to be alive. They don't need you in their lives. So you're just an extra person in this world. Okay. Nobody's going to miss you if you're gone. Wow. And all of these things would just come into my head. And literally, bro, I could picture my family living their lives without me.
Like it got to that point.
Wow.
And like it was hard. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It was definitely a hard moment.
But you told your dad.
Yes.
Who else knew? Well, that's pretty serious. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, that you almost took your life, you were contemplating and taking your life.
Yeah.
I told you, did you reach out to anybody else, like your brothers or anything like that? Or?
I didn't. The
Okay.
only person that I reached out to was my dad, and that's I guess you could say that's one thing that me and my dad, we're very close.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So
that is
if you
good.
look at our family, I would say that I'm closer to my dad than I am to my mom.
Okay, I got you.
And it's because of moments like that.
Yes.
That I was vulnerable with him.
Okay.
And, you know, I opened my heart to him, and I told him what I was going through, and he was smart enough to pray for me.
Wow. Okay.
Because like prayer changes things.
For sure. For sure.
And I know that I remember one time I was on top of my garage, which is where my place to be alone, you know, away
okay.
from everybody.
Yeah.
That was my place where I was just by myself. So I remember I was on top of my garage, and this was after I had already talked with my dad.
Yes.
And I saw my dad come out of the house, and like I just see him walking around in the patio of our house, and like he's looking for something. And then I'm just looking at him. I'm staring at him walking around the house.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, what are you doing? What are you looking for?
For sure. For sure.
And then he's like, I'm looking for you. And I was like, well, I'm right here.
I'm on the roof.
Yeah.
Selena moment.
And he was like, well, like I came down and we started talking, and
Yeah,
he was
for
like,
sure.
well, I mean, after you told me what you're going through, you had me worried.
Wow.
So
okay.
like I didn't see you in the house, so I wanted to know where you were at.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, he started telling me that he was scared that I was gonna commit suicide.
Yeah, for sure.
And I told him, I was like, look, don't worry about that.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm not gonna do that. Because I have that fear of, you know, condemnation, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Going to hell.
Yeah.
And so like that's the thing that kept me from doing that.
Wow. Jahaziel, that is wild. I just had like this like all right, look, I want to talk more about it. I want to talk about how you overcame it.
Yes.
Getting back involved in the church, and trying not to break everybody's neck on the soccer field. Listen, when we get back, we're going to have more with my very good friend, Mr. Jahaziel Trevino. You guys stay tuned here on The Public Affair. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this episode of The Public Affair with my very special guest, Mr. Jahaziel Trevino. Before we continue with his amazing story and getting some Jesus back into the show, let me give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, my very good friends, Julian and Ana Banda with Banda's Hauling Service, who rent dump trailers, darling. That's right. You fill it up and they're going to take it all the way. Even that man that you can't get out of the house who's not paying any bills and has to drop you off at your job with your car. They also do junk removals and tree brush removals and haul cars in and out of town. Your car breaks down, you call them, they come pick it up. Why call a tow truck company? We call Banda's Hauling Service with the number on the screen. Book now with the number. Thank you so much to Julian and Ana Banda for being longtime sponsors of The Public Affair. Of course, to Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services. Now, listen, Manny is a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, you name it, he's got you. I just know that when you buy brand new RVs, they break in like a week. Listen, Manny deals with all the warranty companies, so you don't have to. Just pay him his small service fee, and he's got you taken care of. Follow on Facebook and call the number on the screen to Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Oh, I just had this for lunch. It's delicious. J Pedal and Poke. Have you been to J Pedal and Poke? Yeah.
I haven't had it.
I'm taking you. I'm going to take you after this if you're free. J Pedal and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, and the entire family. They provide delicious, savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. They also have handcrafted Thai-rolled ice cream for dessert. You could choose from menu, or I like to just choose like my own custom poke bowl, Jahaziel, because I like to be in control. I'm one of those. I'm an alpha. Okay. Locations on University Parks Drive and on Hewitt Drive. You can order online as well as jpedaltx.com. To J Pedal, thank you guys so much for being long-time delicious sponsors of The Public Affair. I love staring at myself in that monitor. And of course, to Elite Barbershop with my boy Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive, who's got me looking super scrumptious for this episode of The Public Affair and to worship, and he's got the enhancements going. That's right. You can call the number on the screen to book or download the Squire app to book with your favorite barber that he has over there. Walk-ins are welcome as well. Don't even worry about making an appointment. Just walk in. They've got Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fetcher, and Isai Reyes over there making you look as snackish as I am on this episode of The Public Affair. Elite Barbershop has been the longest running sponsor of The Public Affair. My boy Sid has been doing big things, and I'm super proud of him. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode, bro. Truly appreciate you. All right, guys, we're going to get right back into it. My very, very good friend, Mr. Jahaziel Trevino, is here on
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Making everyone happy on vacation isn't easy, but you know what is? Going to Aruba. All you have to do is walk out your door to find pristine pools, relaxing white sand beaches, and an island teeming with outdoor activities that'll put a smile on any face. You won't just feel great, you'll all feel great, filled with a calmer, more peaceful vibe that radiates Aruba's warmth. And the best part is, it never fades. That's the Aruba effect. Plan your family trip at Aruba.com.
This show, you know what I really like about the fact that you're here and that we're talking about like these things, is that you were not opposed to having a glass of wine on the show.
Oh no.
Do you get judged sometimes? Like you're not like a traditional, and I know we talked about labels earlier, right?
Yes.
But I just knew that when I invited you, because I'm trying not to work on, I'm trying to work on not being so judgmental, okay? And so I was like, he's not gonna want to drink. I'm not gonna be able to tell no jokes. I'm not gonna be able to do this, I'm not gonna do that. And you were just like, you do you, bring the wine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yes, I do get a lot of judgment. Mostly from, I would say, quote unquote, religious people.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up in a very religious church.
Yes.
Where they had a lot of rules.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't go to movie theaters.
Yeah, you can't dance, right?
Yeah,
you can't do nothing.
You can't that I'm still trying to get over that.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, like I don't really know how to dance, so that's why I don't dance.
You're Latin. You just go out there, move your hips, and we're good.
You see, but I got 2 left feet, bro.
Bro, for real?
It doesn't work with me.
So when a girl at the club, do you go to the club? Are you a club goer?
I don't go to the club.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not a nighttime person. But if I did have to go to the club and dance, I go out there and wreck shit. I'm just telling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to dance like at a wedding. A friend of mine had a wedding last year, and he had like a dance floor.
Yeah.
And so a couple of friends of mine, they were trying to get me out there to dance, and I was like, bro, I just don't know. Like, I got 2 left feet.
That's so wild to me. It's like people who don't know how to swim. Like, how do you just don't know how to swim?
Well,
do you know how to swim?
I know how to swim.
Okay.
Yes, I know how to swim.
Yeah, no. Okay, no. It's just, what's the name of the church that you go to now?
Now it's called Oasis. Oasis.
Okay,
Church.
good. Because when I say this, I'm not talking about Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Every pastor that I've ever met at every church, you know, a lot of people think that they would like condemn me or something like that, but they've been so nice to me. There's only like one church in this whole town that just cannot stand me. And we work events together and they treat me like dirt, and it is terrible. And now I'm just like, screw you too. I can't stand you, bitch. Like, no, you think people be faking the faith sometimes?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I will say that it's just people who don't know or don't read the Bible for what it is.
Yes.
They will judge you based on something that they've heard.
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly traditions.
For sure.
Things that have been passed on from generation to generation.
Yeah.
Like the whole, drinking alcohol.
Right.
That's condemned in the church.
Oh, really?
In a lot of religious churches, I should say.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, like, I grew up in a very religious church.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't go to movie theaters. You couldn't drink. You couldn't dance. And it wasn't until I grew up and I actually read the scriptures for myself that I came to the understanding that God doesn't condemn the actual drinking of alcohol.
Yes.
He condemns the getting drunk.
Oh, I see.
So, like, you're not supposed to get drunk because then you're not yourself when you're drunk.
True. Which I've gotten drunk on this show. But that's still me. Like, but I know, like, you end up saying and doing things that's like, So do you practice not getting drunk? Like, have you been drunk or?
I've been drunk once.
For sure. Just once?
Yeah, once in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was in prom night. And probably a lot of my friends are probably going to watch this show.
Yeah.
Y'all remember. So, yeah.
So things went down on prom night or?
I mean, I just got drunk.
You just got drunk?
I mean, I was stupid drunk, bro.
Yes. Now, Jahaziel, I'm not even going to lie to you. I do get drunk on the show quite often. Not today, obviously. We're taking it a little bit easy.
Yeah.
And they did have to pull my head out of the toilet bowl at Waco just a few weeks ago.
Wow.
But that was different. It doesn't always get like that. Okay? Maro and Leslie and Jaime saved me. They came to the rescue. It was beautiful.
Nice,
anyway,
nice.
okay, enough about that. So I want to go back to the depression, okay, and the suicidal thoughts. And so at what point, was it after you talked to your dad that you were just getting better? Or what happened in your life that was just like got you to snap out of it?
So honestly, like I was saying earlier, you know,
Yeah.
I would always go on my garage, on the roof of my garage.
Yes.
And that would be like my alone time.
Yes.
Right? And so I remember one night specifically where I was on top of the garage and it was at night and I was just looking at the stars. And it was one of those moments where I don't know if you've ever just stared at the stars at night where you just feel so tiny.
Wow.
Like you feel like there's this whole galaxy and you're just like a little speck of dust in the entire universe.
Yeah, I've never done that, but maybe I'll do it tonight. I just like to be inside, Jahaziel. That's it. You know, and if I'm outside, I better be at the beach with some sushi and wine. That's it.
I got you.
Yeah. No, but yeah, so you were having that moment outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was having that moment and then like again, I was having those thoughts, depression, suicidal thoughts. And so I remember, bro, that I just started yelling at God.
Wow.
You know, I started telling him, what gave you the right to create me? Like, who told you that I wanted to be created?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't ask for this life. I didn't ask to exist. You know, you didn't have to create me. And I was just going off on him.
For sure.
But one of the things that I was very careful with is that I never cursed at God. I always had that respect.
Yeah.
Because I figured if he does exist,
for sure,
then, I mean, obviously, you don't want to curse at God.
No, I mean, so you don't say like GD and stuff like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
I'm working on it. People make me mad. You know what I mean? I'm like,
hey, that's the emotions, man. You got to keep them emotions under control.
No, but I'm you know, it's so, you know, I want you to get back to it. I'm not trying to like.
No, yeah.
This whole situation that you're talking about right now, just like the unannounced, like, anxiety, depression, I feel alone. It's just like so relatable right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to talk about it too much, but I just like it's so. Maybe that's why you were supposed to come on the show today. You know what I mean?
I'll get onto that a little later.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're yelling at God.
Yes.
And then so then what happens? Did he strike you with lightning because you were getting too loud?
No, that's honestly that's one of the things that you know, most people would expect. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But shockingly enough, that didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
And so I remember, like, I was going off on God, telling him, why did you create me? Who gave you the authority? I didn't ask for this. I was just going off.
Like, you're literally talking to God. Like,
yeah, I was venting everything that I had in me and just venting to God.
For sure. Okay.
And so I remember in that moment, there was a scripture that I memorized as a kid that came to my mind, and it was Psalms chapter 121, verse 1. And it says, I shall lift my eyes unto the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, creator of heaven and earth. And in that moment, I recited that scripture. And it was like this peace just came over me. Like in that moment, I can't explain it. It's just something that...
You just snapped out of it?
I wouldn't say I snapped out of it.
Okay.
But it was like for a brief moment, it's like I got a breath of fresh air. That's the way that I can explain it.
Wow. Like a second wind, is that what they call it? Or that's different?
I guess you can kind of relate it to that.
Yeah, okay.
But in that moment, like it's like I saw things in a new light.
Yeah, for sure.
So I said this scripture, and then I started telling God, if you are real,
yeah,
then I want you to make yourself known to me. I want to experience you, not just by what I hear, but I want to have an encounter with you. I don't want to just know you by your word or by what church pastors say, or by sermons. I want to know you intimately. So in that moment, after making this prayer, I remember that I went to sleep, and so a couple of weeks later, I was playing soccer at co-ed.
Yeah.
On Tuesdays they go out there to the fields and they play co-ed. And I remember that this specific day, I ran into a friend of mine from a previous church that I had gone to.
Oh, okay.
His name is Victor Loera. Shout out to him if he gets to listen to this podcast. Yeah.
That's not Victor from 30 and Over, right?
Yes.
Super Cut Victor that owns the cleaning company?
That's another Victor.
That's Victor Duarte.
Duarte,
yes. Okay, yes. Yeah. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Shout out to him too.
Yeah, love him.
Yeah. And Victor Loera, like I ran into him.
Okay.
And so we started talking, we started catching up on life.
Yeah.
And he started telling me, hey, well, I'm having these reunions at my house. You know, we're just a couple of people in my living room. We're just, you know, opening the Bible, reading a couple of scriptures.
Yeah, for sure.
Singing a couple of songs. And, you know, I'd like to invite you to just come and visit.
Okay.
Yeah. So at that time, I was going to this church.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had invited me to his church. And I liked the church because a lot of my friends went there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess you could say it didn't really help me spiritually, quote unquote.
Sure.
So I remember after he gave me this invitation that following Wednesday, I was getting ready for church, right?
Yeah.
And so I left my house, and as I was driving, I started talking to God again. And so I asked God, Lord, if you're real, and if you created me for a purpose, I want to know you. I want to know that you're real.
Yeah.
I want to have an encounter with you. And because I want something different in my life, I'm going to do something different. So I decided, instead of going to the church that I usually go to, I decided to go to Victor's house.
Oh, okay.
To his living room.
Oh, for the meeting?
Yeah, for the reunion that they were having.
Reunion, okay.
So I went to his house. I remember that this specific day, I was walking up the stairs to his house. And as soon as I opened the door, I can't explain what happened. The only thing I can tell you is that God's presence, I started feeling it all over me.
Wow.
It was something supernatural. Like, it was a warmth.
Yeah.
A love. It was, I can't really explain it. Like, you have to encounter. Can you
explain it? Because I don't know that I've ever felt that.
Bro, like, you have to encounter it for yourself.
Yes.
Because, and you can encounter it. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Like, God wants to have an encounter with his creation. And that's the beauty of it. That's why I love the gospel, because anybody can have an encounter with God. And it's that encounter with God that changes you. So I can tell you that that night, the depression left, the suicidal thoughts left.
Wow.
God completely changed my life.
Yeah.
I went from living a religion of laws and rules and don't do this, don't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, to living a relationship with God.
Oof.
And that completely changed me.
Yeah. Thank God for going to Victor's house.
Bro.
That's so crazy. That's all it took, though. I mean, wow. I've never had an experience like that. So I'm trying to, like, imagine what that is like. Are you grateful for that experience?
Bro, I can tell you that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that experience.
Let me ask you this, Jahaziel. Is that a once-in-a-lifetime experience?
No, that's actually you can constantly live in God's presence experience. You can constantly be filled with the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
So I want to clarify this point.
Yes, please.
The Holy Spirit, he is the one that makes the Bible come to life. He is the one that transforms the Bible from just any ordinary book into the living word of God. Because there's a lot of people that know the Bible inside and out, but they don't know the God that wrote the Bible because they haven't experienced the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
He is the living God that lives through the Bible, in the Bible, and speaks through the Bible. And so once you have that encounter with this Holy Spirit, he changes you. He changes the way you talk, the way you think, the way you live. He makes it to where the addictions that once held you back, he breaks those addictions from you. If you were addicted to pornography, if you were addicted to alcohol, to sexual immorality, he breaks everything. And it's a progress. It's a process that everybody goes through. So for some people, it could be overnight.
Right.
You can stop drinking overnight. You can leave the alcohol overnight.
Okay.
For other people, it's a process.
It's a process, yeah.
But everybody who has an encounter with God never leaves the same. It's always something that happens in your life that changes you.
I'm so happy I invited you on this show. This is what we needed, right? Just like something, and if everything feels so authentic too. You know what I mean? And what I like about, first of all, I think that's an amazing experience. Maybe one day I'll feel that, right? Just right now, I'm just
No, it'll happen when you want it to happen.
Well, you know, Jahaziel, we're the same age. I'm 31 years old. You're 30. We're young men, right? Our minds are racing all the time. We've to this day, I'm going through an experimental phase. You know, how do you fight the temptations of, listen, you're a guy, you want to have sex with beautiful women, you know what I mean? You want to go party. We're drinking wine, but you're not about to get drunk. You know what I mean? We haven't even killed the bottle yet. Like by this point, the bottle's already done, and I'm slurring my words. You know, but how do you, like, even to this day, fight those temptations? I mean, because you're a single guy, right?
Yes, yes.
You know, so obviously you probably want to like release some tensions,
Yeah.
you know? And
yeah.
so like, what do you do that's different than me? Because when I want to go do it, I go find somebody and have sex with them. And so, which is deplorable, I know. You know what I mean? But like, what do you do different?
So honestly, I will confess this,
Yes.
that not a lot of people know this about my testimony because I haven't shared it.
Sure.
There was many years where I was addicted to pornography.
Oh, okay.
Even as a Christian, like I was addicted to pornography.
Like you just watched it every day.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that was an addiction.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that I was bound to it.
Mm.
But it's only again, it's something that has to be submitted to through
Right.
prayer.
Right.
And prayer is what gets you through breaking the bondages,
Okay.
to breaking those addictions.
Yeah, yeah.
Because sin goes against the word of God.
Okay.
Sin is always going to take you away from God because we live in a body that it's prone to sin.
Yes.
So even as a Christian, you're still going to have struggles. You're still going to have temptations.
Right.
As long as you're living in this physical body, you're still going to struggle.
Yeah, for sure. I watch porn all the time. Like, I didn't think it was wrong, though. That's what I'm saying. Well, not that it's wrong, but like considered an addiction.
Yeah.
I use it like
oh,
as an
yeah.
encyclopedia. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah,
no, that was terrible. But for you, honestly, because we're talking like as two men now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I wanted you on this show, because we relate to a lot of that. We both have the same needs. I mean, different, but we have the same needs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And so, is that something that you still struggle with today? I mean, are you? I mean, obviously, you're not opening Pornhub every day now. You know what I mean?
No. So, I will say that Christ breaks that bondage.
Okay.
So, yeah, for sure. And God breaks that bondage, and it's only through spending time with Him, spending time with His Word. Yeah. Because as you spend more time with Christ, the power of sin becomes less and less over your life. So here's the thing that a lot of people,
I have like 100 questions, but go ahead. Yeah.
A lot of people have this confused.
Yes.
They think that as a Christian, it means that you're sinless.
Okay.
In other words, that you don't have sin in your life.
Oh, like you're perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's a bad concept.
Right. Absolutely.
So the concept of a Christian is not that you're sinless, but you sin less. As the days go by, you sin less.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you're not lying anymore.
Yes.
You're not stealing anymore. You're not addicted to alcohol or to drugs
or porn.
Yeah. So God, as you're walking with Christ, He changes your life completely. But it's a process for, like, again, for some people it's overnight.
Yeah.
For other people it's a process.
Yeah.
It takes time.
The only other person I've talked to about this and relates is I had a guest on this show named Silas Nasita about a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And he was talking about the same thing, like, you know, he was addicted to sex. He was a womanizer. He was this and that. Then he is like you, where, you know, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not watching porn anymore, blah, blah, blah. And he didn't, like, he was in a relationship, but him and his girlfriend, like, didn't even kiss.
Wow.
They didn't kiss. They didn't have sex the whole time they were together until they got married. And I was just like, I'm going to send you the thing because I want you to watch it. Is that something you practice as well?
I will say this, that I would prefer not to have sex until marriage.
Got you.
Like, that's my thing.
Has it always been like that since you've been saved, or I mean, you've had sex before, but now it's just different?
Yes, it's always been like that. And that's something that like my parents instilled into us.
Oh,
that,
okay.
You know, sex with before marriage is a no-go.
I see. So is this personal? Are you still a virgin then?
Yes. Well, I mean, would you consider like being addicted to porn and all that?
No, I'm talking about, so you've never been with like a woman?
No, I've never been with a woman.
I commend you. No, I'm not joking. I'm being like dead serious. Good
Bro,
for
I
you.
haven't even kissed a woman. I haven't had a girlfriend.
Jahaziel, how? Like,
but I'm
please, yeah, break it down. No, this is amazing. Okay.
So
I love, and first of all, no, I do have a lot of respect. I really do. That's amazing that because we're men, we want to do it all the time.
No, yeah,
and
yeah.
so I just know you are just about to burst at the seams. But no, I know. No, I'm sorry. It's true. We're disgusting. Okay, but no, okay. Go ahead. I need some more wine for this. Go ahead. No, yeah.
So, bro, like, I guess you could say I'm a very romantic guy. Like, I'm a one woman guy. So,
you
like,
know your DM's gonna be lit when this comes out, right? I'm telling you that right now. And good for you. Yes.
So, like, I want to save myself for that one woman
absolutely
that God has for me.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, you know, I've talked to girls. I mean, obviously, I've talked to a couple of girls here and there.
Like you go date?
Honestly, I've never been on a date.
Oh, it's annoying. Don't do it.
I think. I mean, I hung out with this one girl
a
couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I considered it a hangout just because we started talking through social media.
Yeah.
So I didn't know her in person.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we started talking through social media, and then I invited her to hang out, and we hung out, and everything was good. You know, even after, like, whenever we parted ways,
yes.
you know, she told me, she was like, hey, you should text me or I'll text you.
Yeah.
And then we can hang out again. And so to me, I was like, well, everything was good.
For sure.
You know, everything went good.
For sure.
And so, like, I sent this girl a message later on that week, and it's like a completely different person. Like, she ghosted me. Like, she stopped.
That's what they do, Jahaziel. That's why I don't date anymore. Okay.
Bro,
yeah. It's annoying.
I honestly, I mean, I had high expectations for this girl.
Oh, yeah.
She was, you know, amazing.
And you're still fresh. You know, they're going to come. Yeah, they are. You're going to meet the other girl, and they're going to do that. You know, you'll go through your pick of the litter. But anyway.
All right. All right.
Wow. Okay. So, no. Okay. So, how, you know, we're not getting any younger. Are you looking for, how do you find that girl that you can be with for the rest of your life?
Honestly, it's a tough answer, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I was going to tell you I'll take you out, but that's not going to help anything.
Yeah.
I thought you've been doing this. Like, you know, yeah.
No, so I mean, I will say this, man.
No, go ahead.
One thing that I'm looking for in a girl is, first of all, she has to love God.
Absolutely.
Like, that's number one, because
yes.
my life is revolves around God.
Yes.
So, like, I'm actively involved in church.
Yeah.
You know, as you said earlier, you know, I go out to do mission work.
You were in Africa.
Yes, I was in Africa.
Which had to been amazing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
If one thing I could say is, if anybody has an opportunity to go to Africa,
yeah,
it is a life-changing experience.
Really?
Because they live such a humble life, and they never complain about anything. They lack in resources.
Yes.
And they never complain, saying, why can't I get clean water?
Right.
Why can't I have a good plate of food?
Yeah.
They never complain. And I mean, it was just amazing. Like, I really recommend everybody, if you have the financial ability to go to Africa and just to visit and possibly do mission work.
Right.
Take the opportunity, because it is a life-changing experience for everybody.
I felt that way when I went to Mexico. Like, we didn't go to, like, nice, beautiful beach Mexico. We went to, like, the mountains Mexico. They were cornfields and stuff. And they were like that too. It seemed like everybody was living, not below their means, I shouldn't say it like that, but like you said, like, they didn't have the same things that we do. You know what I mean? Like pressure showers and, you know, the little things that you miss out on. And none of them were, like, bothered by it. They all just made do, and they had each other. And I remember coming back to America and taking my first shower, like, and I was like, jeez, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway, you're looking for a girl. She has to love God, or you're not looking, but anyway, okay. Back to the girl conversation, please, because this is gonna extend a little bit. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit more than an hour. I'm sorry, just
come on.
Okay, yeah, okay. So she has to love God, blah blah blah. When's the last time you spoke with anybody, like that you met a girl or whatever? You know, when this show comes out, yeah, listen, y'all don't be sliding his DMs, especially you. It happens. Okay, it happens tomorrow. You know, it happens to everybody. Just say, just block them. They'll be all right. Yeah.
I understand.
With back to referencing Silas Nasida's episode. him and his girlfriend didn't, they didn't kiss, didn't have sex, all that. But I felt like his situation was different because beforehand he was having sex with everybody. He says it on the show. He talked about it very candidly on the show. And so I feel like with your situation, though, it is different because you're 30 now and you've never had that experience. You know what I mean? And so are you okay? You're okay with that? Like, I mean, just waiting till marriage, like that is just, I don't want to sound like an idiot. Like,
no, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, I mean, again,
do you get, okay, my question is, do you get tempted sometimes?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, there's beautiful girls everywhere. And one thing that's funny, and I heard this a long time ago, is I heard this saying that goes, it's not the first look that sins, it's the second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all right if you see the girl, like, she just catches your attention.
Right.
But it's whenever you look again and then you start undressing her in your mind.
Oh,
and you
that's
start,
wrong.
Yes.
Oh, sweetie. Oops. It's not the girls neither, but we all knew that. Anyway. Okay, yeah, so.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm a guy, so I see beautiful girls. I mean.
Have you ever shared that with anybody? Does anybody know that that's how you live? Like, nobody makes fun of you for that?
I mean, there are.
Or is this show gonna like break the ice and everybody's gonna be like, what the F? Like,
no. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of a couple of intimate friends that they know
and they respect
like
it.
My stance on that.
Yes.
Yeah, and they respect it for sure.
That's good. That is so good. No, I really am. You have to surround yourself with a circle that's respectful of those decisions like that. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'm sure that we're young. We want to go have parties and cookouts. And girls are gonna come and. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like red wine.
Oh,
like
yeah,
we're
bro.
drinking red wine on the show. This makes me always want to slide in DMs, Jahaziel. Like I'm probably gonna sin after this. And so, like, I'm kidding. That was a joke. Stop. But no, like I bet it's hard for you to fight those temptations daily.
Yeah. I will say, bro, the only thing that helps is prayer.
Yes.
Spending time with God.
That's amazing.
That is the key to everything. That's the key to success. Because if you don't spend time with God, bro, it doesn't matter how much scripture you know.
Yeah.
If you don't pray, man, temptations are going to become stronger and stronger over your life. Prayer is the secret to a Christian strength.
Wow. That's why a lot of people can learn from you. No, a lot of these, and you know what's crazy about this too, you guys, like, you're not a pastor.
No.
You're not a preacher. You're not a minister.
No.
You without the labels and all that, because you just said that, you're more of a servant to God and everything.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot of, and not to make this any type of way, there's a lot of people in those positions that can learn a thing or two from you, honestly. I've been judged hardcore by a couple pastors in this town, like hardcore.
Yeah.
And this is another thing that I know I said we're going over. I'm sorry. I'm going to break this ice. Like, I'm gay, right? Okay. And you know that I'm gay. And your whole family has known, well, your brothers, that I was gay. And you guys were always very accepting of me. You guys just never let it bother you guys. You guys always, I was welcome in the home. You know what I mean? And and I only speak this in comparison to the other experience that I had with that church. Yeah. Where I think that's why they pushed me away. It's like, oh, just get away. Don't even acknowledge us. Yeah. How do you, I mean, you might have different opinion. Well, not that I even have an opinion because I don't care, but you might have like a certain way that you were brought to how I live my lifestyle. How do you become so accepting and not judgmental? Again, it's only by spending time with Christ, because I get to know the heart of God. Yes. You see, and if Christ, if you read the Gospels, you will never see where Jesus judged the sinner. You will never see whenever Jesus condemns the sinner or the person. An example, there's a story where there was a woman who was caught in adultery. Yeah. She was brought to Jesus, and the law of Moses said that she was supposed to be stoned. And so these religious people bring this woman to Christ. Yes. Expecting for Jesus to condemn her. Yeah. But then something shocking happens, and Jesus tells everybody, he who is free from sin cast the first stone. In other words, if you've never failed in your life, then you can throw the first stone. By all means. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And nobody was able to cast the first stone. Right. Because everybody fails. Everybody has their shortcomings when it comes to God. And so nobody was able to cast the stone against this woman.
And the only person that was able to condemn her was Jesus.
Yeah.
Because he is the only person in the history of mankind who lived a sinless life. And even Jesus did not condemn this woman. On the contrary, he lifted her up and he said, go and sin no more. So through Jesus, I learned what love and mercy are. I learned what grace is. You see, mercy is not giving you what you rightfully deserve. Grace is giving you something that you don't deserve. And you see, grace and mercy intersect at the cross. Because at the cross where Jesus was crucified, that's where God put on Christ the very punishment for our sins. And he put on Jesus the thing that should have been on us. We should have suffered the cross. We should have suffered the punishment for our sins. And Jesus took our place on the cross. So God punished Jesus instead of us. And he gave us the righteousness of Christ. So as you spend time with Christ, he shows you what true love, mercy, and grace are.
Wow.
I know that was a
No,
mouthful.
that was amazing. So I am going to heaven tomorrow. No, we have a joke. It's, there's a meme. I'll send you the meme. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he says he's going to do that when we're in line for heaven.
Yeah.
He's going to tell God, but he gay. Like, the term. Okay, I'll just say it. There's a SpongeBob meme. No, first of all, I have to say that was powerful. I felt that shit. I'm not going to lie. Just to make it fun. Yeah. There's a SpongeBob meme that you're going to heaven and somebody's like, ain't that nigga gay? And it's like, why you call me out? Anyway, wow. Okay. Jahaziel, that was an earful. I have loved having you on the show. You unconditionally live your life praising God.
Yes.
Living through the gospel, right? The word, if I'm saying it correctly.
Yes.
That was I'm like shook. I'm sorry.
We might need a part 2.
Yes, we do. That's what the show needed, though. You know what I mean? And that's why I love that you came on this show, and this is diversity that I needed. What is next for you? I mean, do you plan on becoming a minister in your church, or are you just going to keep serving the way you're doing, for lack of a better phrase?
Honestly, right now I'm just seeking God's will for my life. If God tomorrow or even tonight tells me, you know what, I want you to quit your job, I want you to become a full-time minister, then that's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're going to do.
But I want to be sensitive to the voice of God.
Yeah.
And that's the amazing thing about God, bro, is that he doesn't force you into anything.
Right.
He tells you what his plans are for your life.
Okay.
And then it's up to you whether you want it or not.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come to your church. Am I invited?
Yes.
No, I'm going to come. It's Oasis?
Yes, but it's in Round Rock, though.
I'll drive to Round Rock. It's around the corner. I've driven to Round Rock to sin. I can drive to Round Rock for some church.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Okay. I'd love to have you.
No, I would. You know what? I'll go before the episode comes out. I swear.
Okay.
You said it. We don't swear.
Y'all heard.
Okay. I did. I had to do that with Jonathan Olvera too. I had to go to his church. And so
yeah, man, you're gonna love Oasis. Oasis, the pastors, the people. They'll love you. They'll take you in.
Yes.
Even that's what I loved about Oasis.
Yeah.
They didn't even know me and my brother, and they took us in like if we had been going to the church for years.
Is it a big church or is it small?
Yeah, it's a pretty big
a mega church.
No, not a mega church.
Yeah, mega church isn't.
No comments.
I did that already. Yeah, but no. Okay, so you and your brother attend Oasis.
Yes.
Okay, and so. Is prayer practiced in your family every day at home? You mentioned that you live with your parents. I assume your brothers live at home as well.
Yes.
So you guys are all still in the same room.
Yes.
Do you guys all pray together? How does that all work?
We have prayed together.
Yes.
A couple of times, but for the most part, it's like your personal prayer time.
Okay, got you. Yeah. And that's what I always liked about him too. You guys, like, as long as we've known each other, you never like pushed anything on me.
Right.
I was only inspired to invite you on the show for something like this because of what I saw, like you were going to Africa and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anytime I met, you always came and said hi to me like we were best friends for 100 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I saw you at the soccer game, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I always said, if you and your brothers ever need anything, you call me because you guys can. Okay. And
I appreciate it.
I'm so happy to know a person like you in my life. And I'm so grateful that you came on this show. And, you know, something that one of my listeners probably really needed to hear. Is there anything else that you can share with us before we go?
I do want to share one thing.
Please do. Yes.
So, you know, and this relates to, you know, you being shocked that I accepted your invitation.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So funny thing that happened before you sent me that message.
Okay.
That week, I was scrolling through Facebook, and one of your videos came up. I can't remember who you were talking to, but you were essentially mentioning about your personal life, how you were dating and stuff that why guys wouldn't really date you and this and that. And, you know, I listened to a little bit of what you were saying, and there was this person around me who heard, you know, the video.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, "Hey man, why do you have that guy on Facebook? I mean, you don't agree with his lifestyle, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Look, I don't have to agree with it to have him as a friend, because I mean, he's a friend of mine. Like, I know him.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna delete him off of my Facebook just because I don't agree with his lifestyle."
Right.
And so I told this person, I was like, "Look, I never know if something that I post, because I always share godly content, you know, scripture.
Sure. Yeah, that's all you share. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I told this person, my prayer is that something that I would share will touch his heart, for him to know Christ, for him to have that curiosity to know God, to know about the Bible. And, you know, who knows what could happen. God can do many things.
Absolutely.
Through one post or a video. And then a couple of days later, I posted that video inviting people to our Easter service at Oasis.
Oh, okay.
And then you replied, you know, "Hey, I would love for you to come on my show."
Oh.
And this was just a couple of days. I want to say like 3 days after I had seen this video and had that encounter with this person.
That's wild. Yeah.
So I don't believe in coincidence.
Okay.
I believe in divine appointments.
Wow.
So I know for sure that God had ordained this moment for us to have.
Absolutely. I was bowling and drinking when I invited you on the show with Morrow and Leslie and the soccer people. And I was like, "You're not going to believe who agreed to come on the show." And they're like, "Hazel." And they're like, "Hazel?" I was like, "I know, right?" No. And you know what? I like what you say about that and him asking you that question. You know, my best friend and one of my best friends in the whole world, like my brother, Jaime, is like you, doesn't agree with my lifestyle, but loves me. We are brothers. Do you know what I mean? And we will do anything for each other. It's just that one that's like, you know, when I get married, we're going to, you know, are you going to stand next to me? I don't know. We'll see when we get there. Because I'm not getting married. But no, and that's what I like, you guys. And I want even some of my gay listeners to listen to this too. Like, you know, it's like he just said, you don't have to necessarily agree with how I live my life, and then that hinders us from being friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not mad at you because you don't agree with that. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know how guys want to be with girls. Like, but okay, but I'm still going to be your friend. You know what I mean? And so, but it's the way you just put it. It did something to me, and I am so grateful that you, number one, love and accept me as your friend, and number two, that you came on The Public Affair. So I really do appreciate it, Jahaziel. Like, you don't understand. Like, you really don't understand. It's like emotional for me. Okay. I'm not gonna cry on camera, so stop.
Nah, it was an honor for me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. No, and I hope that you'll come back again in the future. Okay.
Of course,
I would love. I can't wait to see what else you're gonna be doing with this important job that's been laid on your lap. You know, you're going to all these countries and you're spreading the word of God, and kudos to you. And like I told you off camera, and like I'm gonna tell you for everybody to hear, if you or your family, anybody in your family ever need anything, you make sure you call The Public Affair. Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's it. Jahaziel, thank you so much again for coming on to The Public Affair. I truly appreciate you, bro. You guys don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of The Public Affair. Thank you for bringing some Jesus to the show. We needed that. We did need that, okay?
Yeah. Everybody needs a little bit of Jesus.
Yes, we do. And you know what? We've got more of The Public Affair coming out soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned before we go. Oh, I'm like shook as I'm trying not to curse. I'm like, I'm sorry, Mike. Okay. Before we go, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. Yeah, because I look crazy. Of course, the SoCo Soccer Academy with our friends Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez, located at 3304 Franklin Avenue. They offer team, small group, and individual skills training that provide elite skills training as well to make your kids superb star athletes with absolute professionals. Let me tell you guys something. Dominic, Ariana, Mauro, they are working on something splendid for SoCo Soccer Academy, and I'm so grateful and proud of the direction that company has taken. They deserve everything that comes to them, truly. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Make sure you follow on Facebook at SoCo Soccer Academy and on Instagram at SoCo Soccer 254. Of course, to my boy Jeffrey Monreal with Boyle Box and Audio, home for all your LED needs and auto accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and so much more. Definitely a jack of all trade and your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. If you need a car mod, I don't know, you look like a truck driver. You like drive trucks?
I drive a car, actually.
Oh, you drive a car. Look, stop being judgmental, Andrew. Okay, but anyway, if you need some car mods, you hit my boy Jeffrey Monreal, who's here in South Waco. Boyle Box and Audio, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Brothers Roofing and Remodeling with Jesus Sanchez, all the way from Mart, Texas, which I'm so grateful that somebody in Mart listens to The Public Affair. He's a small construction business from over there, specializing in general roofing needs and so much more. Listen, protect your home for all the crazy elements of the Texas weather with his high quality and affordable work. Make sure you follow him on Facebook and call the number on the screen to Jesus Sanchez with Brothers Roofing and Remodeling. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Fat Boy Michelada and Botana, my boy Junior Banda, who provides the best Michelada and Botana plates for yourself or for a party with a menu of a ton of different items, including Botana Bowls, chamois, pickles, and more. He's locally operated, so make sure you guys get the best, not the rest. Listen, if you can't go to him, he'll deliver to you too. All you gotta do is ask nicely. Follow on Facebook and Instagram at Fatboy Michelada y Botana and place your order now. Thank you, Junior, for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, an honorable mention to my girl Ana Limones with Hummingbird Party backdrops and decor. You can call her for all party decor, including beautiful balloon props, giving an extra flair to your party or event. You know, balloon arches are like totally in right now, Jahaziel. So if you're having a party or something in your family, you call Ana Limones. You know, the balloon arches that go over the door. Yeah. Assorted colors, designs. She's the best, you guys. Call her right now with the number on the screen. She also has a number of wooden backdrops as well. Ana Limones, congratulations to you with all the success of Hummingbird Party backdrops and decorum. Good luck to you, girl. To everybody that tuned into this episode, thank you guys again so much. To my very special guest, Mr. Jahaziel Trevino. It was like the highest honor. No, you don't understand. It was the honor for you to come on my show. So thank you.
A pleasure of mine, for sure.
Yes, an amazing experience that I will cherish for the rest of my life. Much love to you and your whole entire family.
Thank you.
And to everybody else, don't forget to always keep it between us.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.